أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And you're watching Understanding Islam with myself, Zakira, Shyrose Dhalla on Hidayat TV. I'm with you every Friday. And Alhamdulillah, today we are a bit earlier than usual because we want to complete before Adhan time in UK. And we're so blessed to have this opportunity to spend whatever amount of time we get together. Alhamdulillah. My du'as always are for Hidayat TV, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us this channel and this opportunity always to be on the airwaves and to share knowledge. And Hidayah is what we are here for. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it possible for us to gain as much knowledge as possible in this short time that we have together. And you know, the word short time, truly life is short. We don't have much time in anything. Even when you think you have years and years ahead of you, even when you think you have hours and hours in front of you, the reality of this world is that it's over in minutes. And that is why when we look at the whole Quran and how human beings will, even when they are awoken from their that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us in, that when we wake up, we will actually wake up kind of irritated and say, who has woken us up from our sleep? We have just fallen asleep. We had just closed our eyes. And the reality will be that we had been sleeping for probably thousands and thousands of years. We didn't even realize. This is the reality, that whatever feels like, you know, it's thousands of minutes or hours in front of us, in reality is nothing. It's nothing at all. Blessed we are for every moment. And the here and now is what we need to live for, because we don't know if we have tomorrow. Look at the state of the world right now. State of the world is pretty scary. And we look at that, you know, the world is it can end for a person in a matter of minutes. And so whatever we have, let us be mindful of it, because we don't know when it can end for us. So today's topic, inshallah, is about detachment from dunya. It's a theme that is oft repeated in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us repeatedly about not getting too attached to this world, because it is, as we say in Urdu, do din ki dunya. It's a very, the world is basically 2 days and it ends very, very fast. You need to be very mindful of that. So today's topic is about detachment from this world, and also realizing this world is transit. It's a transit. The Holy Quran tells us in Surah Baqarah that you know, these people who fought for worldly desires, who acted, you know, very selfishly, what have they done? And who have sinned very easily. Yeah? What have they done? This is in Surah Baqarah, ayah 86. They are the ones who bought the life of this world for the hereafter. They basically made this transaction, and it's a very bad, losing transaction. It's a loss for a human being when they do this, that they sell this world, their akhirah. They have opportunity to live forever and ever and have. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, if you only know what I have for you over there. But when we run for what is here, and this doesn't only mean materialism. Often we think of hubb dunya, love of this dunya, this world, as things. It's not only things, it's also power. When you want to be a superpower, not only in the world, but in your own family, in your relationships, in your community, you want to be that superpower. And you don't want anyone to be any competition for you. Often we see the people who are the rich, the most beautiful, the most powerful. They have the ones, the most in world. They have the most jealousy in their nature. And you look at them and you think, why are you jealous? You have it all. What will you lose if I take this much? Or if I'm also beautiful or a little bit rich? Why are you jealous? You're the person who should be jealous the least. But the true meaning of this is that the person wants to be number one. They don't want anyone to be even a competition. So they can have all the land, but this little strip of land also, they don't want to let it go because they want it all. They don't want anyone to be superior in any way, or to be loved more than them, or to have more than them. So you look at this, and it is all an ibrat for us, a lesson for us. This world is full of lessons. Muhammad alayhi salam has told us, gain lessons from this world before it gains lessons from you. Allahu Akbar. Really, really a scary thing to think about. That sometimes when you look at somebody's life and you say, what a story. Look at how this person ran after things. This best friend that they fought with the world for because they loved their friend. They gave everything for this world. Their money, their time, their emotion, their loyalty. And look at this friend now. Stabbed them in the back. Or when it came down to it, forgot them. Many times we see this. A friend that we gave everything up for, suddenly you see them forgot to invite you somewhere. They forgot to thank you. They forgot to even say to you that you're important. You'll see them at the mic sometimes, saying, this person did this, and they will forget to mention your name. You'll say, oh my God, how can you forget me? I've done so much for you. That is the nature of this dunya. And it is for us to get lessons from. Don't go all out and crazy about human beings. At the end of the day, these human beings will forget you when you are needed the most. When we try to impress human beings, we try to spend so much money so that we can have that purse, so that we can look as rich as the rest of the world. We spend thousands and thousands to beautify our home just for that one person, for a person to say for 2 seconds, wow, nice house. All these millions of dollars we are working day and night to earn just so that we can get that wow from someone. Sometimes we get dressed for hours, dressing up, makeup. Look at these makeup tutorials. It takes hours to do makeup and hours to take it off too. Spending on the clothes, the jewelry, the fake eyelashes, the this, the that, only for someone to give us a glance and say, sometimes they don't even do that. You come home and you're asked, did anyone say how gorgeous you looked? No. Did anyone notice all the matching you did to this, and this? No. Did anyone even see you? Well, it was such a big crowd. Probably just 2 people around me saw me. So the reality is, and the lesson here to that we spend too much time to impress people. And we try to buy all this world's a good opinion of ours, this world's pat on the back, and this world gives us nothing back. In fact, this world takes from us, takes our time, our effort. You feel like you're running on a treadmill and you're not losing even 1 calorie. Running. This is why often the rat race, this word, the rat race, or it's often compared to as being on a hamster on a wheel. You're running and it's going in circles. And you think you're fast, going somewhere, but you're not. You're just going in spinning circles. You're a hamster running, but you're not getting anywhere. You're this person running on the treadmill for hours, but you haven't moved an inch. We think we made progress, amassed this wealth and the jewelry and the degrees and the children and the world, the power, but we haven't moved an inch. You know why? Because this dunya is blow. All of it is going to go. This dunya is fana. This world is transitory. Not only is it a transit for a short time, but it's the nature of this dunya is that things run out. The world blows. Buildings that have been, beautifully, and high skyscrapers. One little jerk of the world, one little earthquake, and the building literally falls to the ground. One tsunami, one wave, and we know in the famous tsunami that happened a few years ago in Malaysia, what happened? People came back to a spot and they said there was an entire village here. There were people, there were buildings. Where did it all go? One wave of water, and Allah can flatten us all out. There is not even a memory that we existed. There is nothing to even give evidence. This is why the Holy Quran talks about the communities, the generations, and the tribes, and the big countries of Ad and Thamud, and their massive structures. Where are they now? When we go to Mexico and we look at the Mayan ruins, the Mayans were very, very brilliant people. They built huge buildings, a state-of-the-art technology that even now, when we look at some of the things that they've built, we say, how did they have this technology? How did they get up there? The pyramids is an example also. But those people are gone. They might have left the stuff behind for us to be maybe even in awe a little bit, but they themselves are not here. What good is it to have all this, but you don't get to enjoy it? I years ago, when I was doing my psychology degree, was I had to work in the mental hospital, and what was really heartbreaking is to see people in the mental facility who were unaware of who they were. They had no memory of their lives, but they were multi-millionaires. Multi-millionaires. I remember working with this lady, and she was, how do I explain it? She used to put fake bangles and the necklaces that are fake, from the dollar store. And she put all this man, someone who's playing make-believe, right? Like a child plays dress up. And, it's smile at her and think how sweet this little old lady dresses up like this. My supervisors and the doctors who I was working with told me this lady is a multi-millionaire. She actually has real diamonds and pearls. She actually has huge houses and businesses, but she can't remember any of it. And all of us really said how sad it is to have it all and not to know that you are rich. How sad to have it all and not know who you are, not able to recognize your loved ones, your own daughter, your own son. You don't recognize anybody. You don't know who you are. You don't know what day of the year it is. And all that can happen to us suddenly if we're not careful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us. So people die suddenly. Car accident. We think we're going to live forever. It takes 1 second. Sometimes we have these near-death experiences and we say, Ya Allah, I could have died. For that moment, we get really scared. I think, oh my God, ended. Wake-up call lasts for a second. Later, we're doing the same old thing again. Look at what happened to us when we were experiencing the pandemic. We thought we're all going to die. We were so terrified. We couldn't leave our homes. And then we looked around ourselves and we said, what good is all this if we can't use it? Our beautiful clothes, which are going out of fashion as we speak, and we can't even wear it outside our house. because it's dangerous out there. So in a split second, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can change not only our life with an accident or a diagnosis of a life-threatening illness, or the world can end. We can get bombed, or there can be a plague and we have to stay at home. We didn't learn from our mistakes. COVID is back, actually. The medical people, the medical professionals are saying it's very much back, and that there is great discussion about wearing masks again. Now we thought those masks were threw them out. We're like, thank God we don't need to wear this. Imagine if we have to go back into hiding because the world is unsafe. So unsafe that our own relatives, we run from them. Afraid that they will give us a disease. It's nafsa nafsi, that you're staying away from your own relative, you're closing them, this most loved person of yours, whether it's your mother or your spouse or your own child, locking them in a room because they are dangerous for you. Their breath can make you sick. What a test it is when you can't even be with your own loved ones. Allah can do that to us. And this doesn't mean Allah is, na'udhu billah, evil or cruel or unjust. Allah has always warned us. This world can change on you. Your friends can change on you. Your spouse can change on you. The environment can suddenly be dangerous for you. The superpowers can work against you and bomb you. Your ally can suddenly become your biggest enemy. Anything is possible. Love of this world will never get us anywhere. The world is ending, will end. If it doesn't end in its entirety, it can end for us at any minute. But what do? We're still trying to impress others. We're still also very concerned about what others think about us. And this is why we are unable to even wear our hijab or pray in public. And the times are such right now that we are being warned that there is more hatred out there. Be careful. Look around you, because people can hate you simply because you are the lover of God, that you adhere to a religion that they do not like. So haters are everywhere, but we cannot be afraid, because we only have to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not here to please this world. This world's ending anyway. And this is why the Holy Quran tells us, whenever you are tested with anything, say this. It's not only when you hear of a death. Anything. Someone's hurt you. Someone's upset you. Someone's taken from you. Someone has fought with her. Someone has become a big traitor. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. From him we come, and to him we must go. This dunya was not worth it. We have to leave it. One day, today, someday. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala laments. These are the ones who bought the life of this world for the hereafter. You've got these two options in front of you. Take this or this. We see this in the game shows. Door number 1, door number 2. You don't know what's behind them. And people pick randomly, and they're like, oh, there was a car behind this door. There was nothing behind this door. The thing is, those are random shows where we are told we don't know what's behind the door. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows exactly what waits for us in the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not hidden for us the mysteries of this world at all, and of the akhirah. That listen, this door will show, will do. It will describe to you the hereafter and the day of judgment. What you will say, what God will say, what you will defend, and what will defeat it. When you'll say, I thought I was going to get something good. Allah has not hidden for us what is hiding behind any door. And Allah laments. But yet, they took this because we don't have patience. We want it all. There are good people in this world who, who are an example to us. Our Aimma Tahirin alayhi salam, our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who would say that the akhirat, we're waiting for the akhirat. It's better for us. Allah has more for us waiting. We're not going to sell this, our world, our hereafter. Such an example for us. Some good people who say, I'm not going to run after this. We have to leave it anyway. So the person who has it all and yet doesn't get excited by it, doesn't let it own them, is called as someone who has zuhd. And in terms of the quality of a person, it's or a zahid. A person who has the world, but he owns it. He doesn't let it own him. A word could also be defined as asceticism. You are abstaining. But Islam doesn't ask to not own things. It just says do not become materialistic. It's not abstention from being a part of society or earning a living or having a family. We are not allowed, in fact, to become a monk and just spend time inside this four walls and just do worship. We are forced, in fact, commanded to live in this world, own a home, have a family, mix with the world, even go for entertainment, but hold back, restrain yourself. And that famous saying of Imam Ali alayhi salam, live in this world as if you're going to be here forever, which means you do save something, a little bit. You don't hoard, because then it becomes an illness. You keep enough that, yes, I can save, serve my family, save them from being, homeless, having a roof over their head, being education. You live in a regular, just a not extraordinary style. You live in a very regular way. So you live in this world as if you are here forever, but you work for the akhirah as if you are leaving this world today. How does that work? When you know that what if I'm dying today? What will you do? You will do everything right, because I might die tomorrow. So you live for the akhirah, you work for the akhirah as if you are going to be leaving it you're going to leave the world today. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the Holy Quran and Islam, encourages us Muslims not to attach ourselves to anything, because we are not here forever. So this non-materialistic life is, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about it, is to not give up what is halal, or to make what is halal haram. So this is that person who's, no, I can't eat this food, I can't wear nice clothes, I can't buy a house because I'm not supposed to be materialistic. No, you don't give up everything. You have enough to survive. You don't trust and find more security in this than what is with Allah. So that when it is suddenly taken away from you, you don't have a heart attack. The people who would invest everything in the stock market, and when the stock market crashes, the famous stories of people who jump out of their office buildings. Those people who, when they lose a loved one, somebody got married, didn't marry them, they kill themselves. Those people whose a child dies, their spouse dies, then they are not able to love again or marry again, or they leave their religion totally because they've lost faith in God. That is a person who allowed the love of this world to define them. And this is something that we really need to keep learning about. The Nahjul Balagha is full of amazing, amazing examples on how to be a zahid and how to live in this world and not let it live inside you. The sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam, has explained this, that a Zahid is one who keeps away from the halal out of fear of the hisab, the accounting on the day of judgment. So what is he doing? Even if it's halal, he says, no, I can't have this much. I have to answer to Allah about all these clothes that I never wore, all this extra that I gave to my children, and I left them big inheritances, worrying about their akhirat. Not even worrying about their akhirat. We're worrying about their life on this earth. We're worried about leaving people an inheritance. We should be worried about the day of judgment. That Allah will say, you prepared for your own children, huh? You died leaving this big inheritance for your children to enjoy. If only you had left something for a poor child. Imagine if we could educate our own children and then also keep money to educate some child in this part of the world where they don't have money. Or we look at some child in our own family, extended family, who cannot send their child to school. If we could pay for them, if we could pay for their degree, just send them money sometimes. Imagine how much we could. And then often we say, oh, I've done it. I've done enough. I sponsored a child. I gave some money to the masjid the other day. I did something. It's not enough. That was then. Perhaps we have used up all the ni'mah and the barakah that came from that already. Because Allah saved some for us for the hereafter too. For the fishar qabr and for all that as well. So Allah gives us a portion here, keeps some for us in the savings account for the akhirah. So keep doing good things so that we're always working for our akhirat. 60 Imam says, so a Zahid keeps from the halal because he's worried about the day of judgment. And how does he keep away from the haram? He keeps away from the haram out of fear of the adab, of chastisement on the day of judgment. So we need to fear two things, the hisab and the adab. These two things will keep us grounded. But when we are constantly ignoring it, it's called killing your conscience. When it doesn't bite you. Look at the people who can watch starving children or who can see bombs falling on children and they feel nothing. They see people bleeding, but their anger and their warped reasoning is so strong that they think that, so what? They should die. They feel nothing when people are crying. They feel nothing when people are homeless. Their conscience has died. Then there's you and I, who can feel sad for such children. And yet we do not do anything for them. See, the first step is to feel the awareness and the sadness. This is why the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said, human, as a mu'min, a Muslim, he understands that the ummah is like his body. That if one part of the body is in pain, the entire body would feel it. So the first thing is that you don't sit in your house, I don't want to watch the news, I don't want to know what's going on because it upsets me. It's supposed to upset us. It's supposed to keep us awake at night. It's supposed to shake us. But that's step one. Number two is the galvanizing of the human being to do something. And we say, I can't change the world. I can't fix what's going on out there. We can surely fix what's happening in our life. The dhulm that we are doing on our own nafs, for example. Not understanding that giving away what we have right now while we are alive makes more sense and is more reward worthy. Think about it. When somebody says, take this, I don't use it. You can have it. You take it, but you say, well, they were never using it, sitting there in their house for years. So they're not using it. So you're a little bit happy. You're a little bit thankful. But you're like, as we say in Urdu, unko kuch fark nahi padega. Like, they're using it. They were never using it. Imagine if a person is using something, whether it's an outfit, whether it's something very precious that they have, and you say, you know, I really need this computer. I really need an iPad. I really need this to study. I really need a car to get to work. And we can say, I'm giving it to you in my lifetime. While I still need it, I'll give it away because I feel your pain. Imagine when that person is using that item, they're thinking, Ya Allah, they have put themselves to inconvenience so that I can have this. God bless them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He gives us, He will give us reward for giving something when we die. But when we did it in our lifetime, when we put that stone on our heart and said, you know, I'm going to give away some clothes, but not only for a social occasion. Often seen away gifts to a lot of people. But that's because that human being will say thank you, who will call us over to eat, who will love us a little bit more. There's nothing altruistic in just giving people around us. Very important to feed people, call people to our house, to do this gift giving back and forth. Allah loves this silatul rahim we do with relatives or with the community. But Allah wants us to go a little bit beyond that. Imam Hussein alayhi salam says the true ihsan, the true selflessness is when a person does an ihsan for someone who they know can never repay them back. They will maybe never see them again. When you're kind to a complete stranger and you don't even know them, there is no way that they can ever meet you again to pay you back. Are so poor that they're never going to have enough to be feeding you or giving you a gift back. They'll never see you. In fact, when you make a water well and someone drinks from that well, right now we know countries in the world where water has stopped for them. The water has been turned off for them. Think of the devastation. People are thirsty and they die of dehydration. Imagine there's a whole ocean in front of you, but drinking from the sea will kill you because it's salty water. It kills. You know, when people are stranded on a boat or ship, they are told, don't drink the sea water. It kills you. Being in this dunya is like that. We're in this boat, so much around us. But if you take too much in, your boat will sink. If you drink from this, it is alcohol for you. It will kill you. It is poison. Right now, if we made a well for some child, some community, where thousands of people are drinking water, there's no even name. Our name's not even on that well. These people probably can't even read, huh? What if they don't even thank us? You think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not noticing? This person made these people drink water right now. He's in his home. Yes, he got some pinch when he gave that money. He had to work a bit harder. But look what he's doing. He is making somebody's life safe by giving them clean drinking water. You think Allah will not repay us for that? When we do it in our lifetime. Sometimes we prepare for our, even our funeral. We say, you know, here's some food. I've kept money for food. When people come, feed the people who came to my funeral. Even that's a little bit selfish if you think about it. Because they came to bury us. Now we're giving them nice food so that they will pray for us. It's not altruistic, really. True altruism, if we can give away something, no hope of that person ever paying us back. Pay for some child's education. Pay for some girl to get married. Send jewelry, some clothes, brand new things that are in fashion, not clothes that we don't need anymore. Look at our situation in the West. We have so much stuff and we have nowhere to give it. We are looking for a poor person. We're saying, I wish we could find a beggar. There's no beggars on the street. Then when we give to organizations, we worry that that organization will even keep the money. that it will never get to that poor person, or the organization will keep 10, 15, 20%, sometimes keep 50% of our money. Look at the imtihan we are in right now, that you're searching for a beggar, and even when you give it to a beggar, you don't know if it will ever reach them. True imtihan. We are being tested with so much stuff that it's bursting out of our closet, and it's not a nice feeling. We feel overwhelmed with the clutter, with the items. We need to fix this and work for the akhirah. The hadith of Imam Ali alayhi salam, ya Allah, it is such an amazing hadith that has really touched my heart again and again. Where Imam Ali alayhi salam says that the miser, this person who hoards, they have lots of money. What do? They live like a peasant. They live like a fakir. They live like a beggar. What do? Thousands of millions in the bank. But they're worried about the future. So they're holding it. Rainy day, rainy day, rainy day, rainy day. They hold on to their beautiful dishes. You see now those people, those lovely dishes in their beautiful cupboards. But they say this is only for a special occasion. Then there's us who have these wonderful outfits. We don't even wear it once a year because we're afraid it'll be. We haven't found the perfect occasion to wear this fantastic outfit. Ridiculous, isn't it? When you have that. Sometimes we see people with this stuff. We're like, if I had that, I would make use of it. If I had this energy, I would be working in the slums and helping the poor people. Or running on a treadmill. There's all this energy. They're carrying weights because they don't know what to do with all this energy. Eating so much that they need to run to work it out. And there are people who are starving in the world. This is a test. This is a test. But it is sad that we don't want to use it even when we have it. Ali Salam has said that it is a true loss for this person who had so much. He's a miser. He has so much, but he lives like a fakir, like a beggar. But on the day of judgment, he will be treated as a millionaire for that account. Think of it as if you have to pay taxes, right? You have to pay taxes. The government is going to, like if you have $1 million, they are going to tax you and you're going to get very little left. It makes you wish you had used up that money. Why give it to someone who doesn't deserve it? You didn't use it yourself. You didn't let your children use it. Even the children who inherit it have to pay taxes. So they say, don't give it to us, please. Keep it. Even inheritance tax is a problem. Use it not only for ourselves, use it for the people who need it in this world. Right now, when you look at 20 trucks being allowed in, just 20 trucks of aid, humanitarian aid, look at it and you think, how many people is this going to feed? How many people are able to drink water? Look at water. It takes a lot of space even to keep food and water. One truck can barely feed a few people. The world needs much more than that. And then there's people like us who say, well, Allah should be feeding them. Astaghfirullah. Allah should be doing this. It's not my job. Ya Allah. This is also in Surah Yasin, by the way. Where we say, well, whoever Allah is, it's their Allah gave me this for me. He should handle all these other people who are suffering. No. Allah created suffering and allowed suffering so that you and I could step up to the plate and fix the world. Allah will ask, what were you doing? Don't ask me what I was doing. Ask yourself, what were you doing? Enjoying, celebrating, eating. One plate sometimes. There are people who eat steak that is $100. In Dubai, there is a place that is a steak for $500 a plate. Yeah, and there's weddings where people are literally paying $1,000 per person for their guests to enjoy. There are such weddings. There was a wedding last year in Pakistan, the most expensive wedding in Pakistan ever. They just announced their divorce. Allah, tests us. You are living for this world, you're enjoying it this way. I can make it that you will, आपको नसीब ही नहीं होगा. You will never get to enjoy it. Do not amass this. In Japan of all places, there is a ritual that the people do, which is it's literally called a death ritual, where people who hit 60 or 65, something like that, they actually make their own death happen, and they give away everything. They say, I'm going to act like my death is happening tomorrow. So I'm going to put away. Imagine we leave it all for someone to put away, someone to take off, someone to find a charity, someone to call the truck so that we can give away all those clothes. We think people will wear our stuff. It's going to go out of fashion. They don't have room in their own closets. It's not their choice. They didn't like this outfit that you bought. You bought it so excitedly. They're not interested in it. Worse, we leave our money for children who will use it to party, who are going to use it for haram, because the hisab kitab will be for us in the grave. That money that they use to buy alcohol with our money is going to be asked from us, that you enabled this person. There are stories of multimillionaires who left money for their children who squandered it all. There are stories of these kinds of, and these are for us to understand. The father doesn't enjoy this money, keeps it so that their children will enjoy it. And that child is using it to party, to drink, to do alcohol and drugs, and do all sorts of haram things. Now, the father that accounted, that Imam Ali alayhi salam says, and the sixth Imam said, that you will be tested, you will be then accounted for as if you are the millionaire. It's your money. You left it to someone who you knew is going to misuse it. Really, really sad, and something for us to really open our eyes about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to open our eyes now and to remember death. Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam said that paradise is for that person who remembers death 20 times a day. Who is that person? And this is the hadith. And this is there's a hadith from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that there will be people when they die, they will lose this world and the akhirah. Total loss, total loss. And then they asked him, Ya Rasulullah, what about the good people? Tell us about this. That on the day of judgment, they will be raised and they will be like the martyrs, the shuhada. Tell us about those people. He replied, yes, those will be the one who will just remember death 20 times a day. Now, that's not 20 times a day saying, oh, I only live once, let me party. Let me enjoy my money because I'm going to die. This is remembering death as the end and saying, what have I done about my akhirat? What will I do if I die tonight in my bed? What will happen? Will this money even reach the poor? I could have done it in my lifetime. So many people who keep look at us and say, I wish they would share some of their money with us. And we think, why are they looking at us as if we should share it with them? There are other rich people who ask them, why are you disturbing us? Imam Ali alayhi salam says, with every breath there is death. Every breath. Taking us closer to death. Taking us closer to death. This is from the Nahjul Balagha, that every breath is bringing you closer to death. Because we're given a finite amount of breaths. This is why we are also told, do enough sajdas. This is why subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do our qaza namaz. because we are supposed to do those many sajdas in our lifetimes. And if we didn't do it, then what will happen to us? Every breath that was given to us was to prepare for our akhirah and to make the world better for others. Sixth Imam says that the remembrance of death kills lust. Kills the lust. Wow. If we could use the remembrance of death to say, I don't want to ruin my life here. Why should I? I remember a very beautiful woman once was propositioned by somebody. And she said to me, she said, I said to this person, yes, you're gorgeous. Yes, I could have a really good time with you. But why ruin my akhirah pleasure with you? Am I crazy? Do I look like a fool to you? Yes, you're offering me a lot. But am I looking that dumb to you that I'll ruin my akhirah for a few minutes with you? So this is why a remembrance of death can kill a lust. Also saying, Allah, I'll wait. I know you'll give me much more than this. I'll wait. Inshallah, Allah gives us the tawfiq to really hold ourselves in check. In one of the hadith, the word is hadim al-ladhat. Ladhat, what in Urdu we have lazhat, right? This is the ladhat in Arabic. That is the killer. It is the killer of desire. If you can remember it, that the lazhat that we get from this world will go away if we just keep death in our mind all the time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Baqarah, we're going to be leaving with these few ayah of the Holy Quran. The Surah Baqarah, this is ayah 212. Worldly life has been glamorized for the faithless. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Worldly life, this dunyavi life has been glamorized. But for who? The person who has no iman. And what do? They ridicule the faithful. This is the ayah. Worldly life has been glamorized for the faithless, and they ridicule the faithful. These are those people who look at women who cover themselves and they say, "You're crazy. You're gorgeous. Look at how you look. You look ridiculous." They make fun, they taunt, they mock the people who are faithful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they look at those who are dancing, who are doing vulgar moves, who are wasting money for ridiculous items. And they say, look at the glamour. Look at, they're enjoying. Maza kar rahe hain. We even use this word. Kitna maza kar rahe hain. They are enjoying, they're partying. They're not enjoying. It is fake glamour. It's fake news. It's fake news, and we need to be aware of it. But Allah says, those who are muttaqi, they have taqwa, they are God conscious. They're remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For them, in front of them is the day of resurrection. They are looking at death. They're looking at the day, the day of judgment. Is very close. They can see it in front of them. And for those people who remember, Allah says, Allah provides for whomever He wishes without any reckoning. On that day of judgment, for those kind of people who always looked at the akhirah, worked for it, and squashed their desires because they were always thinking of that akhirah, Allah has in fact kept no hisab kitab for them. No reckoning. Hadith and ayah of the Holy Quran that tell us that they will be entered into heaven without any question. These are the people who, for us to show our visas and our passports and our, proof that we have, permission to enter. And then there are others who go zooming in and you're like, excuse me, they have a passport. Are so familiar to the border officials. They have that pass that they can enter without any question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows them. This is ending with this couplet that I just remembered. where the poet says that Bibi, Khuld mein jadid aaye. Oh, my Bibi Fatima alayha salam. On the day of judgment, when the martyrs, those who worked for this akhirat, when they were called, there will be a sound. Teri awaaz aaye, ye aane do, ye hamara hai. This is my person. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to work in such a way that Bibi Fatima alayha salam and the 14 Masumin alayhi salam consider as one of their believers and their lovers without question, and us with their wasila to enter the paradise. See you next week. And Salah time in UK, we ask all those who are doing their Salah in UK and in Toronto, in Canada right now, also in the US, it is time to pray. Please remember the oppressed people of the world right now as well. Remember to pray for the reappearance of our Imam Zamana, Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahum Sharif. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.